The league is getting better, the talent's getting better, and I think just baseball in Western Canada and in Alberta is just on the uprise, which is really, really good to see.
Welcome to episode 172 of Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast. I'm Joe McFarland. This week, we continue our look at the three Alberta-based teams from the Canadian College Baseball Conference. And we're going from the seasoned veteran in Todd Hubka at Prairie Baseball Academy last week to the new kid in town, Edmonton Collegiate Hawk coach Jake Lanferman. The Sherwood Park native was born the same year Hubka joined PBA, 1996. Fresh off a solid playing career, including stops at both Fort Hayes State University and UBC, as well as the WCBL's Edmonton Prospects and Sylvan Lake Gulls, the outfielder is now diving into the coaching realm headfirst as part of Absolute Human Performance as well as the Collegiate Hawks. How is he finding that transition? What does he expect out of the team? And what will be his coaching philosophies? We talked about all that and much more last week. Jake, thanks so much for joining us here on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Let's start off talking about the Edmonton Collegiate Hawks of the CCBC. Season's opening up here. This is your first full year as the head coach of the team. How excited are you to be taking the reins?
Yeah, I'm really excited this year, having these guys work so hard that they have this off season and finally getting to go on the road here. We leave in an hour here to Kelowna. It's pretty exciting, and it's a compact schedule. We got 32 games in a month and a half throughout these next 2 months, but these guys are prepared, they're ready to go, and we're excited to start playing.
I know you're working at AHP with Ethan Elias, who was the former coach of that program as well. Has that made that transition a little bit easier?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, having those guys around the Edmonton area, they're always just good to contact and have close. So I've been working with Taylor Burns and Connor Burns for a long time, playing with them and playing under Taylor, and And Ethan Elias, he's been a good mentor for me and just allowing me to kind of fit right into this program. And couldn't have asked for any better guys to be underneath, that's for sure.
As for the team itself, what are you expecting from this crew?
Yeah, this year is obviously going to be a learning experience for the coaches and the players here. Having this program be underneath the Greg organization and being out here at Remax full time, it's definitely difficult finding kind of which direction we're going to go this year. I think that we have big things expected in the next couple of years, and we just want this year to be as much learning for these guys. So you don't want to put too much pressure on them. At the same time, as a coach, I don't want to put too much pressure on myself either. So I think that we're going to have a great year. I think we're going to do a lot of things the right way, play the game the right way, and learn a lot, that's for sure.
Any names that fans should be paying attention to through your eyes?
Yeah, we got a couple of our outfielders, probably Aiden Schlesinger and Ray-Jean Bourget. They're really going to fall into leadership category for our team. And then we got on the bump Halen Knoll. He's unique too because he's one of our starting pitchers and he's catching too. So he's going to have a big workload ahead of him this year. But he's just great young men, and we're excited for them to finally start playing. I mean, with the pandemic and everything in the CCBC, we got a fall championship this last fall, but they hadn't been really played a full season for 2 full years. So I know these guys are kind of foaming out the mouth to get going, and then I'm excited to watch them have a full season with statistics and everything like that.
And obviously you're excited as well to be the bench boss for this team. What are you expecting out of yourself as a coach?
Yeah, I think this year it's been really good for me, just a learning experience. Having guys around me, like obviously, like the head coaches at HP, and then we have Ray Brown alongside me, which is pretty cool. So a little background story: I played for the Edmonton Prospects when Brownie was here, and it's pretty sweet how much knowledge and everything he has underneath him. I mean, he's 73 years old, and I'm 25, but having him there it's really good to just kind of pick his brain, have him around for me and our assistant coaches. And when you have someone with that kind of knowledge just in the dugout all the time, I just think it makes my job that much easier. And Yeah, exactly. Just knowing that I have these resources to fall back on, Ethan and Taylor and Connor and some of the coaches that I've played through just throughout my full career, like this under Jason Chatwood and Mike Johnson, Sheen Bromley, and it's kind of cool being a head coach in the sense that I get to pick the brain of all the guys that I got to play underneath. So now I just kind of get to form my own mentality as a coach and my own philosophy and kind of deliver that to these guys.
And speaking of, have you figured out what kind of coach you want to be? Do you want to be the yelling kind? Do you want to be the pat on the back kind of coach? Have you figured that part out yet?
Yeah, I think for me, if anybody kind of been around me and watched me play the game, I just like to play hard-nosed baseball. I want these guys to just give it everything they got every day, day in, day out. If they're working as hard as they can and they're being accountable, I think things will just kind of fall into place. They always have for me. That being said, yeah, it's just big for this program and for these guys. I just want them when they're done or at Edmonton Collegiate and they're done stepping away from this program. I want them to have things to fall back on. I want them to learn life lessons and just understand how to go about their business the right way. Because obviously we don't all get to play the game forever, but if they get a good education and they learn a lot of things about themselves when they're here and they step into the real world, I want them to be prepared. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're not that far removed from the game as a player yourself, and at 25, you're not much older than some of these guys. Does that make it a little easier or in your mind a little harder to maybe get some of those messages across?
Yeah, obviously in some situations it could be a little difficult, but no, I think it's pretty easy to divide myself in that aspect. These guys that I'm working with are just really good group of guys, and all of them they go about themselves the right way. So when I do have to put my foot down, I think they understand the message. I don't like to do that too often, but at the same time, they're awesome. I'm having a blast.
Take yourself back a year or two, and did you ever imagine yourself moving into a coaching role, or was this something that you've been thinking about for a while? Walk us through the process of turning from player to coach.
Yeah, I guess when I was playing at UBC, to be honest with you, I didn't really think about the coaching aspect. I was always trying to get myself as far as I could in my own baseball career, and then when the opportunity came up and Ethan reached out to me about thinking I was a good fit, I kind of put into perspective that this would be something I could do, and as soon as that kind of clicked, it changed the whole mentality of it, right? You're instead of looking in now you're calling the shots and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's been a really great experience. I'm really, really lucky that I get the opportunity to take this job and be the head coach and moving forward, it's awesome.
Moving forward, now let's move back a little bit and talk about your upbringing in the game itself. You're a product of Sherwood Park. How did you get into the game in the first place, and who was it that introduced you to the game?
Yeah, I think I'm just like most Alberta boys. I think it was just flipping between hockey and baseball for a long time. Throughout high school, it was kind of both were going pretty well, and then I kind of just ended up choosing to play baseball full time. I went to FX Academy West End, and that was a big commitment. So it wasn't really, wasn't doing both anymore. It was just baseball. I think growing up in Sherwood Park, that group of guys that I played with for a long time, we were just all really tight knit, and it was just a competitive atmosphere throughout my whole upbringing. I think you get a group of guys like that. My grade 12 year when we all graduated, I want to say of the starting 9, I think 6 of us were on scholarship to go play in the States. So to have a group like that where everybody's being that competitive day in, day out, you show up to the field every day and you're just trying to make yourself better, but you're trying to pick the brain of the guys around you, right? And I think throughout my whole career, I just tried to do that as best I could. If there's someone at the field that I thought I did something better, if it was base stealing or reading fly balls in the outfield or something, I always try to pick someone's brain. So among some of the names that I played with throughout my career, you got Eric Sabrowski, Mike Soroka, Tanner Kerwer, and it's pretty cool just growing up with a lot of these guys and getting to play with them on each and every level. But Yeah, really grateful for the coaching staff I had in Sherwood Park. I mean, he dedicated Josh Bishop and Matt Hammond. They were our guys for 5-6 years, and I think that just made us gel that much easier. It was just a great group of guys, and I know we had a lot of success for our club.
When you were a kid growing up, did you have a favorite Major League Baseball player that you looked up to? Maybe had some posters on the wall, or maybe even a favorite team?
Yeah, obviously being in Alberta and not having an MLB team, it was the Blue Jays for me. And yeah, Vernon Wells, he was always the guy when I was growing up. I was fortunate enough we got to go down to the Rogers Center. My parents took me when I was young, and getting to watch him play at the Rogers Center was pretty cool. So yeah, Vernon Wells was my guy when I was growing up.
You mentioned making that split between hockey and baseball. What made you decide the baseball dream was the one that you wanted to chase?
Yeah, I think when I started getting older and I ended up going to tournament 12, I was the first year that we did that. And you're standing there in the Rogers Center and you're doing the showcase and you're just kind of like, wow, this is all the best talent in the whole nation. And it's pretty cool to kind of get to compete against those guys and see where where you fit in. And then after tournament 12, I went down and did the Perfect Game showcase in Fort Myers, and it was kind of the same thing. Made the World Showcase, and you're playing with guys who are going to get drafted in the first round, and you get to see where you compete with those guys. So that was kind of when it became surreal to me that I could play college baseball and continue my career a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm. As you mentioned, you go down south first. Fort Hays State is where you started off. What did you take away from that experience?
Yeah, I think Fort Hays State was really eye-opening. It was I headed down there when I was 17 years old. I just graduated, and that fall I ended up turning 18. And yeah, it was cool. You really you grow up pretty quick being away from home. I mean, a lot of these guys, Alberta boys and Western Canada, when you go down there, it's it can seem pretty far away, but yeah, you gain a family down there with the group of guys you're working with, and it was cool. I wouldn't change it, that's for sure. I ended up spending 3 years there. I played as a true freshman, and then my second year, I decided to redshirt, put on a little weight, and just get a little bit smarter at the game of baseball, and ended up having a pretty good sophomore year.
Mm-hmm. Then it's off to UBC, as you mentioned. What was that like?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. My last year, Fort Hays State, I think we ended up going 9-38 or something like that, and I didn't really know I was going to UBC. I thought I was going to end up in the CCBC, probably at PBA, and then try and head back down to the States. But fortunate enough to get a call from Chris Pritchett that he wanted me to play with his team, and headed out to UBC. And yeah, that program is incredible. To be honest with you, the way that this coaching staff just handles themselves, Sammy Starr, Chris Pritchett, the way that they go about their business, it really matured me as a collegiate player. And moving forward, I think I picked up a lot of my coaching philosophies from Chris and Sammy. So out there in Vancouver, it's a special program, especially for me, that's for sure.
From an Alberta perspective, I've seen a lot of guys make the trek out to UBC. What is it about that program that just sort of makes it attractable? Is it because of the distance and being able to be closer to home, or is there something more to it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, exactly. For my family and friends that come watch me when I was playing in Vancouver, it's a lot closer trek than flying down to Kansas. When you look at it at the end of it, I just think when you look at it from an educational purpose, I think getting my undergrad from UBC was a big reason as to why I transferred. I mean, that it's a very renowned school, and they're doing both the education and the baseball at the same time in such a gorgeous city. I just think it was a couple of the best years of my career, that's for sure.
Very cool. All the while, you were also able to head back home for a while during the summer. You mentioned the prospects earlier. You played last summer in Sylvan Lake. What was it like playing that close to home in front of friends and family and having some jam-packed stadiums to boot?
Yeah, I mean, that's always the best part. I think home every summer and then getting to play that Edmonton Prospects team that we played with. I think on team for a Wimbledon team at the time, we had one guy who had dual citizenship, but every single one of us was from Edmonton or around surrounding. So to have that close of a group. We all played against each other growing up and everything like that. Yeah, it was kind of the best part of the year to come home. You get to play in front of Remax Stadium, which is incredible, and getting to play in front of all my family and friends after being gone throughout the spring. Yeah, it's kind of the best part of the year for me when I was playing.
How real is the battle between Okotoks and Edmonton, especially in those years, and the rivalry that those two teams had?
Yeah, I think it's just always been a thing. I mean, if you grow up in Edmonton or Calgary, that we're not too close to begin with, and then you when I was playing Dukes, I mean that was back when Okotoks had 3 teams in the Norwest League at the time, and every single team was pretty talented. So it was kind of always just a rivalry, and then yeah, you go and you play in the Wimble, and then we saw them a couple times in playoffs, and it's they always have talented guys. They bring in big names, and that's a really great academy. So it was always fun playing them. You know you're going to get the best of the best, and it's always going to be a competitive game. That's for sure.
You mentioned T12, you've mentioned perfect game, you've mentioned a few different things along the way. Any favorite memories of your time on the field, places you've been, tournaments you've won, road trips with shenanigans, you name it. The floor is yours. What's your favorite memory so far?
I think it's a pretty cool story with me and Taylor Burns. Like, he was coaching me in the Prospects Academy my grade 12 year when I was playing there. And then you previously had him on, but he took a few years off because of that injury. He was never going to go play his senior year out. So I was down at Fort Hays State playing my 3rd year, and that was the year that he headed back down to Central Missouri. So I think it was week 2. I'm facing my old coach. He's starting on the bump, and I know that's a pretty cool story that me and him get to share. It's not often that you're playing league play MIAA in Kansas against your old coach. So that's a pretty good one.
Very cool. Looking back at the career to this point, what are you most proud of so far?
I think my whole career, just the resilience and hard work, I think, throughout my career is what I'm most proud of. While I was playing for Edmonton, I got caught up in the outfield up in Fort McMurray and ended up tearing my ACL, and my medial meniscus was kind of messed up too. So that was a big surgery. I went back to UBC and got ACL reconstructive surgery. It was a whole year out of the game, and when you're in it, that you've been doing it for that long, it was difficult to become removed. And there was probably, I'm proud of the way that I came back from that and ended up getting to play some of my senior year before the pandemic. And honestly, it's just the interaction with all these guys. Like you do this for so long, and then you just have friendships and brothers that you've made along the way that stick with you for a really long time. So that's probably, what I'm most proud of too.
I assume that's probably one of the biggest obstacles you had to overcome. And so I'm curious, especially with an injury like that, a lot of people talk about the physical recovery and that. Walk us through the mental recovery as well, and trying to be resilient mentally in facing a big injury like that.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's done it, that was kind of my first major injury. It's just difficult, right? It puts you in a spot where if you're going to the field, it's just to be a good morale guy and to stay positive and give the guys a boost. But that whole year I was just out entirely, so it's tough to be around the field and to see everybody working so hard when all you're trying to do is walk. Really, it's 3 months just to start walking. So yeah, and I think that's just kind of the takeaway I had for on the mental side of it was just to really like hunker down on my education and just take pride in my classes at the time and just continue to do rehab day in, day out. It's a long process. Like, that's kind of it. And all these athletes that have to do these major recoveries, it's a long time, that's for sure.
Walk us through, who do you lean on in a situation like that? Or do you try to internalize it a little bit and try to, battle through it on your own?
Yeah, I think you're right in that sense. I think it's a little bit of both. Me and the physical our trainer got really close. His name's Eric Lowe, and just working with him, you're in there 6 times a week. I think I was just taking Sundays off, but you're doing strength every day. You're trying to get the mobility back. He's working on your knee day in, day out, and Yeah, so I think you obviously you lean on your closest friends. I lean on my family. They were all there for me every single day of it, very supportive. And yeah, it's good to have that good, healthy circle that you can lean on. I think it's important for all these young college guys, right? They get if you're away from home or school gets tough or you're not performing how you want to do or all of these different obstacles, right? You have these people you can lean on, and they're always going to say positive words of affirmation and help you get through those times.
Mm-hmm. You've gone through a lot of different times, and going back to the coaching realm now, being the head coach of a program where you have student athletes, what kinds of advice are you going to be planning to offer these kids to make sure that they're excelling on the field, but they also have to be excelling off the field in their studies as well?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think obviously we want these players to become better baseball players, but when it really comes down to it, the academic excellence part of it is huge for me and huge for our staff here. I think, yeah, kind of said that before, but you can only play so long. You need an education to fall back on, and it's just important that these guys are in the classroom and they take care of business that way. That was always kind of my thing. If you're taking care of business in the classroom, you get to go play baseball, and that was the best part of the day. So it's important for these guys to get good at time managing, be able to go to these classes. You go 3-4 classes before you even head to the field, and any college athlete really understands how difficult it is to balance such a workload. Like we put these guys are lifting 3 times a week, practicing 5-6 times a week, and it's a lot. So time management is super important, and just having that close circle of guys and family and friends to rely on when it does get tough, because it will.
On a personal level, let's get out the crystal ball for a second here, and let's go 5 years down the road. What are you hoping to accomplish now that you're making your way towards a coaching career?
Yeah, definitely with this group of guys, I think every year we just want to continue to make the program better and baby steps into, obviously down the road 2, 3, 4 years we want to compete and be in the running to win a CCBC championship. That's obviously our goals. I'm competitive in nature. I know the guys that run this are too, so that's obviously in the back of our minds. And I think that if we play baseball the right way and we work hard, I think that goal is definitely attainable.
Do you have goals of major league aspirations, perhaps in a coaching role at all, or have you even thought about that at this point?
No, I just recently got into a master's program for sports psychology. So, I would like to eventually tie the two together. I mean, coaching's wicked, and the mental aspect of the game, it really intrigues me too. So, if once I finish my master's and see what kind of doors could possibly open, but that would definitely be something that I would definitely be interested in.
That'd be fantastic. A couple more questions for you here, Jake. What's it mean to be able to give back to the baseball community here in your home province?
Yeah, I think that's kind of a major reason why I do it. I think baseball in Alberta just continues to grow, right? I think the coaches were getting to these academies and everything locally here in Edmonton and Red Deer, and I just think that the coaches are giving back so much and giving so much knowledge to the next generation, and I think that's the most important thing. Obviously, it sticks with me, the guys that work with me here in Edmonton and St. FX and Sherwood Park, and you have these specific coaches that they give you knowledge and advice that lasts my whole career. It's kind of just tidbits I pick up along the way. So to be able to work with guys locally, and I think for our program, just having these guys be able to play at RE/MAX in our home city and represent Edmonton in front of family and friends, it's a whole new option that was never available when I graduated. So I know it definitely would have been on the back burner in my mind, instead of going down to Kansas out of the gate, then head down here, like play in the CCBC a couple of years. And then that's kind of the nicest thing about this league is it can be a feeder system. You can play 2 years in the CCBC and it'd be 1 year of eligibility in NCAA. So the league is getting better, the talent's getting better, and I think just baseball in Western Canada and in Alberta is just on the uprise, which is really, really good to see.
Absolutely. When it comes to those youngsters, let's say they're 12, 13, 14, put yourself in their shoes. You've been there, you've done that. When you're offering those pieces of advice to those kids at camps and that kind of thing, what is your biggest piece of advice for those just starting out on their own baseball journeys?
I think at a younger age like that, when you're just starting your journey, is just just to continue to have fun, right? I mean, obviously it's important that we're getting better fundamentally in our mental approach, and as a hitter or pitcher, we continue to make those gains fundamentally. But then at the same time, I just think that it's still a game, and every day you get to play it. It's pretty awesome. So when I'm working with younger kids, it's just to have fun, not put pressure on yourself. I think everybody understands who's played baseball is that there's not many sports with this much failure. So you kind of put to a test day in, day out. So if you're not mentally prepped for that, then it can be a challenge. But for the younger generation, just keep it loose, have fun, and enjoy the game.
Absolutely. Final question for you here, Jake. What does the game of baseball mean to you?
Yeah, this is a tough one, but I think the game of baseball for me is just the whole journey and everything that's been involved in it. I think, my path is like a lot of guys from Western Canada. It's kind of all over the place, playing in the States, playing in Canada. But the game itself has just taught me how to handle adversity and how to just move forward and enjoy the game and work hard and take those kind of big life messages and just put them into every single day. Just trying to do just work hard and continue to succeed.
Fantastic stuff. Well, Jake, congratulations on all the success you've had at this point. Continued success going forward. Best of luck during the 2022 CCBC season, and all the best going forward. Thank you so much for joining us here on the podcast.
Thank you very much, Joe.
Thanks again to Jake Lanferman for joining us this week, and thanks to all of you for downloading and listening. We'll be catching up with University of Calgary Dinos coach Cam Williams next week, so make sure to subscribe on your podcast app so you don't miss that conversation. Before we go, we'd like to once again thank our Platinum supporters for all they do in helping us, but also for what they do for the game of baseball in our province. The Okotoks Dogs are gearing up for the start of the WCBL season at the end of May. Head to dogsbaseball.ca for full schedule information. And AHP Academy is busy playing in tournaments, making their presence felt in Kelowna, among other places. For all the details on their program, go to ahpbaseball.com. Until next time, thanks for all of your support, no matter the platform, of Alberta Dugout Stories.